I don't know why I'm yelling. Welcome to the Psychic News Network. I'm Annette Dion. I'm the host and founder of the Psychic News Network. I haven't been at my office all day, and I'm noticing that my daily calendar is set to August 12th. Let's fix that. It's August 14th, 2023. Welcome. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know how your weekend was. Some of you who follow me on my channel saw a lot of me this weekend. And thank you for being with me. Much appreciate. There was an acoustic festival yesterday, and I also had Church of Spirituality yesterday, so it was a big day. We live streamed it as best we could. I haven't watched it. I hope it's not too quirky. Hope it doesn't have too many glitches, but check it out if you want. The first almost hour of that live video of yesterday is other people playing, but definitely worthwhile. It was a beautiful day in this beautiful little park. Really magical time yesterday. So yeah, thanks, Glenn. So check that out if you can, and if you're interested in music. Who's not interested in music? Hello Damon, hello everybody, hello James. Thanks for being here. So I kind of took the day off, and it was nice. I went to Salem and hung out with my niece, and we had a lovely time, and got my car maintained, and it was a get things done kind of Monday. Let me know how you're doing. I know there's we're all like waiting with bated breath for this thing that's becoming like a thing, being on indictment watch, right? On Friday night I was on my soapbox about developers, and they're hearing from witness number 7. Okay, we'll get to that, Lisa. We were I was kind of talking about developers and how greedy developers are, and how I have to move out of my office. I don't have much more news on that today, but that, developers are like, mostly don't really care about the people. So then, much to my dismay, when I was listening to the news about what's going on in Maui, just to make the point that I wasn't overreacting to developers taking over and not caring about the people they're kicking out. And Maui, and the aftermath of the worst fire disaster in United States history with the most deaths, guess what the developers are doing? Can anybody chime in? What are the developers doing? What are developers? They must be from like that area. What are the developers doing? So I'm talking about in Maui. Well, I heard somebody on MSNBC that was being interviewed whose family was in Maui, many generations of the families in Maui, and that's what I was talking about. There's a history, there's a sentimental value, there's an attachment, there's, family memories, heirlooms and all that. So in Maui, the developers are not even taking a pause. They're buying the land up. They're not even taking a pause. So I just wonder if we've gotten into this way of being as humans, not you guys, but where we have to deal with a segment of the population for which they don't have hearts and souls and emotions and compassion and feelings. So anyway, I was just mortified, and it just reminded me of what I was saying on Friday night, where I said to you, the building that I'm in is being sold to develop condominiums that will sell for $1 million a piece, and it was the same in Maui. It's the same in Maui. doesn't the land have to be zoned first? Well, I just want to say about that, they have their ways. They have, and what I've witnessed, where are my cards? What I have witnessed, as far as that's concerned, it doesn't matter if there are laws, because money talks. Because they just pay off people. They pay off the city councilors and, totally. So this is the kind of thing that we really have to speak out against. Yeah, well, the reason the zoning and planning committees allow it is because the developers suck up to them. I've witnessed it in action. I've seen them in action. As soon as there's land that's, and even if it's not developable in the sense that there's, like I was talking about, they blast the ledge and they cut down all the trees and they don't care. They hover like vultures over this island. I think they fly over, they have their drones, and they hover like vultures looking for what trees they can cut down and what rock and ledge they can blast so that they can have their freaking $1 million+ home developments that go up like this. That's what they're trying to do in Maui. That's what they're trying to do in Maui. So I know that it's a heartless, soulless thing to do, but now that's further confirmed, as if to continue the conversation. I heard about that today. And it's the same thing. Maui's an island. It's just incredible. Let me grab the cards. I just had them in my hands. Talk amongst yourselves. I was going to read the... here they are. Sitting on my tarot cards. Yeah, they've been burned out. They're vulnerable. Carol's mentioning, yes, they're vulnerable. And they're freaking traumatized. We can't even imagine. We can't even imagine. But for the grace of God, right? We're going to pick a tarot card from here. I'm going to take your questions. Yeah, vultures everywhere. But before I'm going to kind of start similar to how I started on Friday when I was kind of talking about this greed, this overwhelming greed. And whether people are going to rise up against it or not, because the reason that they do it is because they can. The reason they steal all the land and develop it is because they can. There are people still fighting for settlements from Katrina, yeah. And I'm just talking about the developers that have no heart. Okay, so I pulled this is the Crystal Ball Tarot. I wish I didn't need readers, but I do to read. Hang on a second. I'm just getting my glasses. Sorry, I just rushed in. I was having so much fun in Salem that I wasn't really organized. The moon. So, I'm reading about the developers in Maui that are just, I can see the greed. I can literally see and feel the greed. And it's the moon. Something about a situation or a person is not what it appears to be, and you need to trust that your instincts are telling you, what your instincts are telling you, in order to see past this. So the moon. Thank you, Damon. Yeah. You have to break it up. I'm always having fun. Let me just be honest. And the moon is in Leo, I believe. Is it? Wait. Oh, the moon is going into Leo tomorrow. I thought it was in Leo. Oh, no, it's in Leo today. Oh, okay, it's in Leo today. So, I'm talking about the voracious, greedy developers that are hounding the poor people of Maui. I mean, guess... Oh, Thomas is back. Good to see you. when were the wildfires? When did that horrible wildfire begin? Was it 1 week ago? I think it was less than a week ago. Yeah, the moon is in Leo. I just checked. I thought it was in Leo. When were the wildfires? Was it? It was a week ago or less. The entire one side of Maui destroyed. And I guess Mick Fleetwood had a restaurant, had a club there for a very long time. You're surprised the developers didn't cause the fire. I know. Well, it was global climate change took care of that. They were probably just salivating when they were watching the wildfires. I hate to say it. Oh, they started on 8/8, so that was less than a week ago. Oh, good. Oprah's going to give some substantial money there. Good. The moon says, what I really want to see is people getting stops put to this. That people coming together, and you notice that all the things we're going through in this country are calling for people to come together. Oh yeah, I saw that. There was an artist interviewed in Maui that just opened his gallery and lost all his art. So we will have to get involved with, well, it's all connected. The overwhelming greed that is that's just ruining everything. Can you imagine? You can't even imagine. You can't even imagine. I don't want you to imagine it because it's too horrible to imagine losing everything, and you can't even think about burning to death, and that just... Let me ask the pendulum something. Are these developers, are they just a different kind of a human than normal? Is it just that they're, yeah, it's a different kind of a human. It's a different kind of a human. It's a kind of human that's just, the best way I can describe it is if you ever learned how to squish a bug when you were little. Those poor families in Maui. Oh really, I'm serious. Jeff Bezos is donating $100 million for Maui. He should be donating $5 billion. I'm just saying, good for him that he's doing something. He probably has property there. Yeah. Yeah. So, we do have to come together. But it is something that's happening in this country, and we're just being called to do something, to not just... This is not a time. This is not a time to go, oh, it'll be fine. It just isn't. That's it. I know, that's exactly what I'm saying. Somebody's saying, Damon, was it Damon? Sorry, I want to give credit where credit's due. Patricia said Jeff Bezos is donating $100 million. Yeah, he doesn't pay taxes. Oh, Electric Storm. Developers have always been this way, but I don't think so. No, that's not what I'm talking about. Electric Storm. What I'm talking about is the heartless greed. Their brains are wired differently. I was talking about, when you were a kid, you had to learn to squish a bug, right? Am I right about that? Didn't you have to learn to squish a bug? Like step on an ant? Their brains are wired differently. I'm gonna pick another card. I'm going to pick a card about Maui. The moon card indicates that people will be very, very emotional about Maui. Oh, Bezos will get a tax break. Maria, Bezos already has a tax break. What do you mean? Remember the tax cuts that, Trump is always bragging about? He lowered taxes. Guess who he lowered the taxes for? Okay, so the moon indicated that people would really get emotional about this, and I think that it's Maui, and Maui. It's kind of like islands kind of have this energy for people that they just like I love Key West, like I love where I live. I love the island mentality, and Oh, Suzanne, you're so sweet. Where people just love it and they love to go there and they have a good time there, and people are happy and they're all on island time and they're just laid back and just enjoying, God's beauty, right? So that it was in Maui seems to point to it being really devastating for so many people, because I haven't been to Maui, but so many people have. Is Fantasy Fest in Maui? They're still trying to recover bodies. Hello, Diane. It does feel like the energy of Maui, because so many people have been there, is going to encourage people. Like somebody just mentioned, Oprah is going to give a substantial amount of money. Mick Fleetwood is given a substantial amount of money. Oh, Fantasy Fest is in Key West. I knew it sounded familiar. I haven't lived there, but I stayed there for 5 weeks about 20 years ago. The sun indicates that there's going to be some waking up energy around the Maui situation. Isn't Hawaii spiritual? Yeah. Well, honestly, I don't want to make it sound like other places aren't spiritual, but there is something very special about the ocean. Thank you, Rondaroo. Thank you for your donations. But I got the moon and the sun, so about Maui and about the developer and the developer's greed. And that's, the moon is about emotions. There's going to be intense emotions around what the developers are doing. And I'm actually getting that it'll bring that to light. It'll bring that to light, so people will be looking at that going, whoa, that greed's gone, overboard. That greed's gone, that's a little bit too much. They've kind of gone, a bit too far, and it will be noticed. I definitely see that it will be noticed. Mick Fleetwood lost his, I know, I was just talking about that. You must have just joined us. Sometimes I feel like the words just came out of my mouth and somebody types it. There's a delay. Ho'oponopono. Yeah, it's very spiritual. And the kahunas are there. They're very spiritual. Is there anybody in the chat that lives in Hawaii? Also, I heard, but I did not see, that some really horrible people are, I don't know, tell me if you've seen this. I don't know if this is actually true. That some horrible people are saying that the Democrats started the fires in Maui. Has anybody heard that? Because that is beyond the pale. That's super crazy. There's crazy, and then there's super crazy. Yeah, I've not ever made it to Hawaii. Yeah, I heard, I don't know, I didn't see it myself, but I heard that there were people on social media starting conspiracy theories that the Democrats started the wildfires. Did anybody else hear that? I don't want to just start a big rumor. But did anybody else hear that? Marjorie Trader Green said the Biden infrastructure bill caused the fires in Hawaii. There it is! Where did you see that? There it is. Do they think that the Biden administration created global climate change? I just found my nice ring that I like. Did anybody say... Are they saying that the Democrats created global climate change? Is that one of the conspiracy theories? Not really. They're not saying that the Democrats created climate change. Joan didn't hear that, but I heard it from a couple sources, so I'm not sure. You've only been to Oahu and you want to see Kauai? I wouldn't go there. Oh no, Kauai is probably fine. But they're telling people not to come to Maui. They're telling people not to come to Maui, and they're, I don't know if you guys saw this today. It was on the news. It was, there were scuba diving companies that were still doing scuba diving. Yeah. You're not in Twitter? Well, it's not Twitter anymore. It's X. If you had Twitter on as an app on your iPad or your iPhone, if you had Twitter as an app and you updated it, it turned into an X. And all I can think of about Twitter and turning into X is it's just been crossed out. Are the fascists going to try to pin global climate change on the Democrats in general? Not really. I don't really think they can. I don't think they can work it out how to blame climate change and the climate disasters on the Biden administration. I feel like that's too far to go. You still call it Twitter? Me too. I don't call it X. I just thought it was interesting. I don't use it, so I just went to delete it. Before it deleted, it updated and turned into X. From Twitter to X. To X Twitter, right? I don't do X. Rendezvous. Let's take a look at what's going on in Georgia at the present moment. Is Fani Willis getting ready to indict Trump? Is she ready to indict Trump tomorrow? Full disclaimer, I got the same thing last week. A full disclaimer, I got the same answer last week. Big fat swinging yes, indictment coming on Tuesday. So there you go. Somebody mentioned that, I forget who it was, sorry. Somebody mentioned that it could come tonight. Oh, was that Warren? Was that you, Warren? I thought somebody else asked that. Warren with the wins. Will Fani Willis indict? Will that news come out tonight? No, it's not going to come out tonight. Why do you think tonight? That would be odd for them to announce that late. Maybe like around now. The universe only answers to their time, not ours. Okay. I'm picking 3 cards. Now, don't think Trump isn't freaking out. Trump is freaking out. Yeah, they're still interviewing witnesses before the grand jury, so why would you think it would be tonight? Yeah, they're working late. And she had them clear their schedules. Fani Willis had all the judges and all the, everybody that's working for the justice system in Georgia. She had them clear their schedules for 2 weeks. Also, just so you know about Georgia, when I kind of think about Georgia and I feel, are they safe? Do they have enough, backup and enough reinforcement in Georgia? And I get really strongly that there's enough reinforcement, there's enough security in Georgia that we can just project out there that we want everybody to stay safe. We don't want any violence. But I just want you to know, when I tune in, I get the same kind of energy, believe it or not, that I got around the inauguration. So let's think back in our minds. When Joe Biden was inaugurated on Inauguration Day, we didn't even want them to be outside after what happened on January 6th. A lot of us, myself included, wanted Joe Biden to swear, take his oath of office inside. But they were, hey Kathy, we're doing a show tomorrow, me and Kathy, Spirit Talk podcast. So during Inauguration Day, they went ahead and they did the inauguration outside. It was courageous, but they would not have done that if they didn't have that amount of security. So it might not be as many, troops. Remember the National Guard was sleeping on the floor in the Capitol building before the inauguration, like a night and 2 nights before? Let's ask if that's actually happening in Georgia. Remember that? Is some of the security in Georgia staying overnight, like sleeping on the floor? Yes. I get yes. Yeah. The guys just said all hell is going to break loose, but I don't think it's. I don't think it. I think it's virtually. I get all hell is going to break loose, but it's in the virtual world. It's not in the actual world. You do live here. Where do you live, Electrostorm? Okay, so Thomas, you have fans. You and Damon are kind of, neck and neck in the fan department. So I get that there's security sleeping on the floor in Georgia. Yeah, Trump should be charged for all of it, and all the security that the judges have to have. And honestly, have I asked whether Trump will be detained because of witness intimidation? I didn't get there yet. I haven't gotten into it yet because I was once again ranting about developers, because we need to do something about greedy developers because they're hovering like vultures over Maui. Thank you for the donation, Mary. So we haven't gotten to that question yet. MSNBC was showing the printout. Okay. Is there as much security in Georgia relatively as there was on Inauguration Day? Is there as much? Yeah. It's just as safe. Okay. We need to throw watermelon rinds at the evil trolls. I don't think we have any here tonight, Raymond. Thank you to the wielders of the wrenches. I used to call them wrench people. Thank you to the wrench people. Is Trump in exponentially more trouble now that more evidence has come out? Yes, exponentially. Marjorie Trader Green is pulling things out of her you-know-what. Can we hang greedy developers? Oh yeah, and Warren's going through it in New York City. They have no soul. They have no heart. And we got to do something. Anyway, meanwhile, back in Georgia. So I just read the pendulum. Do they have exponentially more evidence against Trump now? The past few days, I mean? Yes, it said yes. His Sunday morning rant was off the wall. The Trump rant so much. We all told you. It doesn't take a psychic. We all told you that it wasn't going to shut him up. Right? We all said it. Is Trump going to have something that's like a gag order imposed? Is Trump going to have something that's like a gag order imposed? That's a yes. I don't have enemies. Damon wants me to... I don't know, I might wrestle a developer. I don't know if I would win. They wanted to claim a part of the public beach, and you all voted that down. Actually, that happened here too. There was a huge hotel here they built right on the beach where, the waterfront industry was. Anyway, I'm still in Georgia. Will Trump be found guilty in Georgia? Will Trump be found guilty in Georgia? Is that where it's going? Yeah. I just Damon's cracking me up. You all crack me up. Whenever I ask if it's going to be a guilty charge in Georgia, the pendulum pretty much almost jumps out of my hand because it hops up and down, saying yes like crazy. Patricia, I just answered that question about, I just spent a lot of time on whether there's enough security, and you must have just joined us because the answer was yes. It's an open and shut case. It's an open and shut case. Yeah. I know, it just bounces out of my hand. Yes, yes, yes. See how it does that? I don't move it. The subconscious mind sends a little electrical impulse to the hand and it moves. But this is, what What's the punishment? That's a good question. And I also, Kathy and Jones mentioned it now too. Yes, he's gonna be found very guilty in Georgia. I did hear he will be the first convicted former ex-president. Yes, I agree. From what I'm seeing, especially. Cameras are allowed in the courtroom, right? I mean, that's what people are telling me, and I didn't have my eye on the news all day, every minute today, so is that like, oh yeah, Warren, he's very guilty. We are all going down in history. We're all going down in history for making it through this time. Who wants a watermelon margarita? Remember on Friday I brought my this brew called Athletic Brew. I'm a little bit hooked. It's non-alcoholic beer, but it's so good and it's so refreshing. Yeah, Patricia, I answered that, and it looks like, because I was talking about the level of security, maybe not in quantity, but the same amount of vigilant security as was present at the inauguration. They're not messing around. Oh yeah, so yeah, people are like, somebody ordered Athletic Brew because they thought it looked really good on Friday, so maybe I'll get in touch with them. And then I went to the restaurant down the street and I asked if they had it, and they're like, we ran out. For those of you that are having trouble following the thread, because I do jump around a lot, I quit drinking almost 3 years ago, and I missed the taste of a good IPA. So I discovered an IPA called Athletic Brew, and that's what we're talking about. It's really good. It's the best one. Yeah. Okay, it's very good. We're gonna pull 3 cards about what's going on in Trump's little pea brain. Not much. When I think of Trump's little pea brain, I'm not a mean person, but he's done so much damage, and people have died because of him, and he's just, he's only cares about himself. He's a cult leader. He's a horrible person. He ignited this fire of hatred. I mean, I know it was already there, but he gave people permission to be horrible and divisive. He gave people permission to make fun of other people. I mean, I have nothing inside of me that wants Trump to be okay. I know it doesn't sound all that spiritual, but it's just not there. So he's got a little pea brain. I'm justifying Mike saying that he has a little pea brain. And right now, all it's thinking about is, actually, his little pea brain is in survival mode. An empty pea brain. Yes, he does. Please hit the thumbs up if you get a chance. Oh my goodness. His brain matches his tiny hands. He is, I mean, let's take a moment and count our blessings that we are actually here where we are right now, which is strengthening our democracy indirectly. Where we are right now, yes, I'm just speaking the truth, right? Thank you. Where we are right now is we are in a training, a rigorous training to see if our justice system and our democracy can withstand this repeated assault. That's where we are, and we will live through it, and we will be victorious, and we're keeping our eye on the goal, and we are not letting up. I think the number of times that we've said the name Trump is maybe in the gazillions. Honestly. The gazillions. But I have to check myself too when I get angry about what Trump is doing, because he could have taken over this country as a fascist dictator. That could have happened. I used to say he who shall not be named. I was looking back at I had some old Instagram posts, and I realized that I was doing readings on Trump since 2020. Probably before that. But anyway, yeah, and I would call him he who will not be named, but that just got to be too cumbersome because I had to keep talking about him because he was all over the news. But what's happened in other countries is they've been their democracies have been overturned and they have become autocracies, and that's where we still could go. But right now, Trump is going to be held to account. And how he's doing, I put my glasses here, not on my head. How he's doing right now. He's trying, okay, he's going to get the news. It looks like tomorrow there's a really strong case against him. He's pretending that he's still the emperor. That's all he's got. It reminds me of a little child using their imagination. It really does. It reminds me of a little child using their imagination. The word is coming. It looks like it's tomorrow. The indictments are coming. This is the strength of Fani Willis and the strength of the many, 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 many piles and mountains of evidence against him. Oh, and he wants everyone to do his dirty work too. And this is him. Trump is actually feeding himself. I'm telling you, it's that the power of positive thinking. It's the Norman Vincent Peale book. He really drilled that into his brain. So he's not, his brain is not wired to imagine that he's not the emperor. His brain is not wired to even conceive of that. At what point does he crack? That's a good question. We'll take a look at that. But he's a master manifester. I mean, manipulator, not manifester. He's a master manifester too, but he's a master manipulator in his own mind. Like, he manipulates his thoughts to believe that he is the emperor and nothing can touch him. And it's absolutely true. When Judge Chutkan told him he cannot tamper with the witnesses, he cannot say things that aren't supposed to be revealed. And he had every intention. There was not even a moment in Trump's mind of him considering keeping the rhetoric at a lower volume. Not even a tiny bit. So with the statement by the judge, the order from the judge that he's not to put everybody's name out on social media and intimidate and, witness tamper. He's not to do that. There wasn't one tiny thought in his head that had any semblance of a feeling of, okay, judge. Nada. So what did he do? Like I like to say, it doesn't take a psychic. I could have told you this, but you could have told me this, even if you consider yourself not to be psychic. You could have told me this too. He's a bully. He was going to make... The reason I'm saying it doesn't take a psychic is because this is his pattern, right? He's going to call people to say this for me. Say this for me. Say this for me. And the people that he's saying, go out there, like Matt Gaetz, go out there and say this for me. The people that he's saying that to were in on the insurrection. So they have a vested interest also in making sure that they keep the lies going. Believe me, it's all in their own self-interest. They only care about themselves. When I was saying my rants about the developers that have no heart and no soul are all connected with what's going on here. It's the people with no heart and no soul and no compassion and no kindness and no humanity in their beings. Like the Matt Gaetz, right? I know he's not a developer, but Donald Trump was, right? It's the same thing. It will backfire on them, I agree. And I think that they're miserable. I do. Electrostorm is saying that you think it'll backfire. Yeah, well, in many ways it will. I think it's punishment to just be so miserable. To be so miserable that you have to make other people miserable. When my guides gave me the whole download about Donald Trump, my guides showed me that Donald Trump, we were going through this because we need to strengthen our democracy. It needs to be steely. It needs to be secure. And it all depends on our justice system. If we don't have a strong DOJ, if we don't have a strong justice system, we do not have a democracy, because it's based on law and order, legitimately. And my guides showed me Trump at the end of his life, and you know I've said it a gazillion times, he was Mussolini in his past life. He had an opportunity to do better this time around. He opted out of that. He wasn't capable for whatever reason. And I saw the punishment for Trump's soul in this lifetime, if you want to call it punishment. I would just say kind of like the way the wheels turn. Was that he would never ever experience what it is to have actual love. And he would live a life that was full of money, but it would be devoid of love. And that at the end, he would die alone. In the end, he will die penniless. And I've always seen him in an institution at the end. In a nutshell. So what they're actually doing, the Republicans hired legal scholars. Yeah, they misrepresented Lawrence Tribe. He wasn't so happy about that. Yeah, that's not going to be... The Republicans hiring constitutional legal scholars to find the gray areas and loopholes they could exploit, not going to happen. Not going to happen. That's purgatory for Donald J. Trump. That's funny. That's a Catholic word, purgatory. No, and his punishment in life, I know that this might sound like not enough punishment for somebody, but let's look at it. Can you imagine having a life that's devoid of even the feeling of love, of even the feeling? So Trump got out there on social media and he said what he wasn't supposed to say, and that was because he wanted to. I know, the 14th Amendment. So somebody's up there saying the Republicans are trying to they're just reporting that that's what they heard. The Republicans are trying to get legal scholars to interpret the Constitution the way that they need for it to be interpreted. They're not batting 1,000 right now, let's put it that way. Let's take a look. Hang on, I just want to see if I was going to answer a question. Okay, so I'm just saying that Trump violated the judge's order immediately, and then he got other people to violate the judge's order for him, and he started retweeting conspiracy theories and heinous lies that other people had tweeted or whatever, Truth Social, whatever. And so he's in complete violation of the order, right? And he's very nervous. Thank you, Sharon, for saying to hit the thumbs up. We're going to look at how he's going to do tomorrow. Yeah, it's really sick. I mean, I heard that, we're just going back to the topic of the wildfires. I haven't seen it. I heard that the fascists, I don't call them Republicans because they're fascists. And we need to call them what they are. I mean, look at Tuberville. Is he an American citizen, or is he working for Russia? So they're not Republicans. They're anti-American. They're enemies of America that are seated in our government. Thank you, Sharon. You're the best promoter ever. I'm reading how Trump is going to do tomorrow. Oh, Well, you know, what the guys are saying is he's going to have a double whammy tomorrow. Trump is going to have a double whammy tomorrow. That's what I'm picking up. Because it looks like there's going to be some kind of a gag order. And I'll read cards for that specifically in a sec. Something like a gag order is coming. And an indictment is coming. And it looks like they're both coming tomorrow. And the Four of Cups is he had an opportunity to do better, but he opted out. Trump left his rally yesterday? I've been waiting for that to happen. Is that true? It's not like I watched it. So how Trump's doing tomorrow? The Four of Cups is he had an opportunity to make it a little bit easier on himself. He looked hot and sweaty. Yeah, and I commented on Friday about how awful he looked. He looked so awful that he knew he looked so awful, and he made a big commentary about it, saying that the fake news was gonna say something. He only stayed 45 minutes. No human can keep up what he's doing. Alright, so he's missed an opportunity to follow the rules. This is about Trump tomorrow. He should have taken the opportunity because it's not going to be good. 1 hour in, Trump left his rally. That's unusual for him because it usually goes at least 90 minutes. And I think he's running out of things to say. The Knight of Swords. The guides are telling me this week we're going to see more than just a Fani Willis indictment. He went home. Trump went home. We're going to see more about Trump than just an indictment. The Knight of Swords, that's justice, and the King of Pentacles, that's the law. Karma, do your job. Karma, damn it! Do your job, Karma! Aren't you supposed to come back? What goes around comes around. Sometimes it takes a little bit long. But you don't know that he's not suffering. He just pretends that he's not. Trump pretends that he's not suffering. I think he's already... Lisa's saying, do I mean that he will become ill? Yes, he will become ill. It's not that he doesn't enjoy saying the same thing over and over again. He needs the crowds. Oh, was there a live tournament at Trump National yesterday? Where's Trump National? Was that Mar-a-Lago? Let's see. I want to see what's going to happen to Boris Epstein. What's going to happen to him? CM, I don't think that that's happening, even though they're attempting... Okay, so CM is saying, there's a whole group out there paid by the billionaires that are rewriting the Constitution so it's in their favor and waiting till Republicans are in power again to vote it in. That's what they're doing. I mean, that's the game plan. We know that that's the game plan, right? Is it me? Is it me once again thinking everybody knows that? Maybe they didn't put it in those words. Maybe I didn't put it in those words. There's a whole group out there paid by the billionaires that are rewriting the Constitution so it's in their favor and waiting till Republicans are in power again to vote it in. That's not news to me. Is it news to anybody else? I mean, maybe we haven't heard it put the way that CM just put it, but that's not news to me. So there's a live golf tournament going on right now at the place where Ivana's buried. You wish people would boycott. People were protesting when the live tournament was there last year. You love my dress? Thank you. It's actually a shirt. Thank you. You're so sweet. I keep forgetting what I was going to read about. Beyonce's having a concert near the courthouse. No wonder I see so much security. When? She's having a concert? Alright, I got a little lost. There's so much news. So let me just take an opportunity to do a commercial. I might do a shorter video tonight because I noticed my numbers haven't gone up. I might try that again. And Midas Touch is on at 8 too. On Mondays and on Thursdays. The Brothers. Please book a reading at psychicannetteDion.com. Please join Grassroots of Democracy. On Tuesdays we have a 20 on Tuesdays guided meditation for a healed America. Really, really important to come to that. Go to grassrootsofdemocracy.com to sign up to come to our meditation. We do this every single Tuesday. Afterwards you receive a recording of the guided meditation. It's the least you can do for your country. Thank you, Warren. He says 20 on Tuesdays is fabulous. Also, it feels way better to be engaged in saving democracy than to sit around and worry about it. Okay? They have a special at Midas Touch in a few minutes. So I'm going to probably jump off on the early side. Not just yet. I'll be a little late to watch Midas Touch. Grassrootsofdemocracy.com is how you can get involved. I started this organization because I know that we're all out there going, we don't know what to do, we don't know what to do. So we get together and we figure it out and we do the work. We meet on Thursday nights for a discussion group. Grassroots of Democracy also meets on Saturdays for a work session. We have a little bit of a civics lesson with Maria Rodriguez, who's in the chat. That's grassrootsofdemocracy.com. Also, Church of Spirituality every Sunday at 1. I'm a little distraught that more people aren't watching Church of Spirituality because I know people are suffering. I know people are having a rough time, and I invented Church of Spirituality so that you'd have a place to go to hopefully receive the spiritual upliftment that we all need. I'm doing my best. Please become a member. There are some really groovy perks if you become a member. If you can, it's really helpful. And please hit the thumbs up. And please subscribe and share and tell your friends. We have parties 3 times a week. On Tuesdays and Thursdays I do shorter videos from outdoors. He's getting dark money. That's another thing that it's like, we know this, right? Right? Can we file a class action lawsuit for what? Sorry, I got a little lost. Rebecca's a new subscriber. Thank you. Welcome. We hope you like it here. Everyone's really friendly. And I go on rants, and then I get snippy. I snip at people when they say things that are massively discouraging, and I just ask them to bring it up. And them's the rules, and we have a good time. And thank you for your donations. Much appreciate. We're going to look at Jack Smith. Wow. When I think about Jack Smith, this isn't literal. This is just symbolic. When I think of Jack Smith, I feel the energy of like a SWAT team. I don't mean it's an actual SWAT team. When I think of Jack Smith right now, I feel like I would feel the energy of a SWAT team where it's like, okay, ready, here's the plan, here's what we're going to do, but it's the legal system. It's the justice system. Oh, thank you for your endorsements. Also, one thing I forgot to tell you is tomorrow we have Spirit Talk Podcast. I'm doing too many things, I forget to tell you all of them. Spirit Talk Podcast, we have our resident astrologer, Kathy Beal. We're going to go over the astrology of what's going on in the political front. You don't want to miss that. We're going live at 3 tomorrow. Okay? It's okay if you're late, Darren. You can always watch it on replay. And I'm going to jump off a little bit early because I do want to watch Midas Touch. Tomorrow will be lit. Should we bring our fake beer and champagne? I do have tea leaves. I need to get to that. And I'm going to be doing a reading tomorrow, too, that I'll upload. Oh, yeah, we'll have the United States astrology chart. The podcast is right here on my channel. It will be under the lives. And Kathy's got vodka right here in the freezer. Are you going to make watermelon martinis? Yeah, so anyway, so when I'm tuning into Jack Smith, I want to be careful and get that you understand. I don't mean literally. When I think about Jack Smith and his team around him, I feel SWAT team energy, like the same kind of a thing. We're gonna pull 3 cards. Like they're not messing around. I think that's how I could describe it. They're not messing around. This is the real deal. This is some serious stuff. This is the difference between whether we get to continue as a democracy or not. Trump has to be indicted. He has to be prosecuted. He has to be found guilty, and then we save our democracy. Thank you, Sharon. So appreciate it. He has to pay the price for trying to take down our democracy. Yeah, SWAT team choreography, that's a good way to put it. And that kind of focused energy, like we got to get this right. Remember how many times people use, once again metaphorically, if you're gonna try to shoot the king, you better make sure you're not gonna miss. That's just a saying. Carrie has black cherries. Yummy, yummy, yummy. You know there's snipers on the buildings around the courthouse to protect it. So maybe that's why I'm picking up the same kind of energy around the security as was in place in Washington, D.C. on Inauguration Day 2021. Oh, so I'm reading on Jack Smith, I forgot. Okay, we have the celebration card. What's coming up with Jack Smith? The celebration card, we have the Ace of Swords, great strength, and this is the High Priestess. So this is the Jack Smith team, the DOJ. We will be happy. I got the 3 of Cups last time too, around what news we're going to hear that's just going to make us go, at least she's going to be held accountable. This is great force in all communication, big time. With a hawk. Remember when the hawk flew over my head in Maine? There it is. I'm speaking the truth. And the High Priestess, Jack Smith, it's all, we don't know what they're up to, we don't know what they have, but they've got it all. They have, I mean, the guys are saying they have Trump surrounded. They have Trump surrounded. The grand jury is now voting. Whoa! Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump off. We'll do tea leaves next time. We'll do tea leaves on Wednesday. And I might even read them on my own. I'll read them on my own. I'll post on my community page what the tea leaves said. But since I just heard that the grand jury is voting now, I think we need to go find out what the news will be. So I'm going to jump on to Midas Touch. And before I leave you, don't forget, tomorrow, Spirit Talk Podcast, we'll be talking about all that's going on in the political scene right here. It'll be live on my channel, and then it'll be uploaded later in the day. We're in a studio for that. I love you guys too, so let's do this. Let's everybody keep the faith. I'll jump on again tomorrow and upload a vid. It's doing its thing right now, so let's do this. He's going to be found guilty in the end. So don't worry. Join us for 20 on Tuesdays tomorrow night too. All right. I love you all. Namaste. Go watch Midas Touch. See ya. Bye, John.